All right, so what's going on, everybody? Hello, how's it going? Yeah, new setting, things like that. I kind of went back to my old format when I was doing Sunday side quest stuff. As you guys will see, probably on the Sunday side quest video that I just did for Ace Combat 6. But anyway, yeah, we are here talking about PlayStation. Haven't posted much about PlayStation. I know there's been a lot that's been going on over the past 5 days. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into it because there's still a lot that we need to talk about. And there's more stuff that apparently is coming out as everything happens. So let's go ahead and check this out. All right. So PlayStation has been going through a lot after when they did their update, basically talking about everything on July 1st. Let's see here about the physical discs, no longer being a thing, and also removing the PS3 storefront, PlayStation storefront for the PS3, and also for the Vita. This is a big issue that's going on right now because basically anybody that refuses to play PS5 or do PS5 games, anything of that nature, they need to go ahead and they would have to change the well, not change the whole thing, but they would have to upgrade, force upgrade. And it's not only with PlayStation, it happened in the past too with Xbox 360 and Xbox One, where the 360 marketplace was taken off. I did that, talked about that in another video as well. So yeah, that's pretty bad. It's pretty bad because not many people, especially in today's economy and things like that, especially with the difference of wages and cost of living, things like that. Gaming is basically becoming more of a luxury than just a general consumer thing, I guess you would say, that anybody can access and play without any issues. So anyway, but yeah, one of the funny thing is when it comes to PlayStation is that they try to right the wrongs, I guess you would say, but apparently they got community noted, which I thought was pretty funny here. So here it says that let's see here, phasing out physical media raises anti-consumer concerns, chiefly the loss of game ownership. Moving entirely digital means users buy revocable licenses, rather than permanent assets, allowing Sony to pull access whilst at will while eliminating resale and preservation. So, and then they have a link here. But yeah, so I didn't know that until one of these days. Like one day I was on my phone and they're like, hey, anything that you did that was anything that you were talking about, oh yeah, that got community noted. And I was like, oh, okay. Anything that you pretty much liked. So crazy thing is, a lot of people were talking about it, and we kept hearing it a lot. I even mentioned it in my video last time talking about PlayStation, is the numbers here. So we saw here the PlayStation numbers. A lot of people kept saying like, oh, 80%, like 80% are digital buyers, or 85% are digital buyers. But the thing is, a lot of people kept digging more into it, people in the internet. And this is why the internet, people in the internet, it's a very powerful thing. I actually like it. So here we have one from Nib, NIB. He said that he's seen several quote PlayStation 78% digital sales, digital full game sales, thus omitting important context. And what he's talking about is a lot of the games here, like even Capcom revealed 84% of its sales were older catalog titles, which are only available, only sold digitally. So any games that were like the Halo Master Chief Collection, let's just say for example, if that was only digital, and you couldn't buy it at a retail store or anything like that, that would count as obviously a digital sale. Now the downside to that is it sucks because you don't have the option of buying physical. You can only buy digital, and that was one of the things I talked about. There is another incentive thing that I talked about with PlayStation, and just games in general when it comes to digital, from the last video that I did, is that a lot of stuff is gearing towards the digital side, and they're really trying to nudge people over to the digital side. Like, hey, digital, you got better benefits and things like that, like getting early access and things of that nature. Because if you got the same thing, got the limited edition with everything included, the one thing you don't have is that early access, and that right there is basically on the consumer. If they want to, they want to experience the FOMO. If they want FOMO, if they don't want FOMO, then they would get the digital. If they don't give a crap about FOMO, then they'll just stick with the physical. But It's just one of those things that is kind of screwed up that people have to choose pretty much. I know content creators that are like, I'm just gonna buy digital because I'll get the early access, I'll be able to stream it earlier and things like that. So it's just one of those things. So yeah. So going down here, they're saying like a lot of the data is misleading here. To gauge, they said real physical demand, you need to look at splits of games that release both physical and digital only, thanks to Insomniac Leaks. Now remember this name. Remember Insomniac Leaks. Remember this one because we'll talk about it later. But anyway, we have reached such data on PlayStation first-party games. And they said PlayStation physical, digital splits, and then you have Sackboy, you have RNC Rift Apart, Ghost of Tsushima, then you have Demon Souls, Miles Morales, things like that. Now, again, like looking at these numbers, it's physical and digital. So looking at all these, it's mainly physical games. Physical takes over digital. Still going down here, except MLB The Show. MLB The Show is actually digital. It's dominantly digital, so it's crazy. So then he said that so per Sony's own internal data, 3133 first-party games on their cart sold more physical than they did digital. Uncharted 4 actually has an insane 83% physical split. So the things like that, it's very insane to see when it comes to these games that they're saying, oh, physical is selling way more than digital. But the thing is, when I saw more about digital and physical games, another thing is talking about microtransactions, DLCs, free to play, downloads, things like that. They all counted that towards the digital as well as digital sales. I mean, like, yeah, if you buy Destiny 2, the Edge of Fate, that counts as a digital sale because it's only a digital DLC. Unless you had like Destiny 1, The Taken King. Actually, let me see if I have it. So yeah, right here, Destiny Taken King on the Xbox One that I have right here. Yeah, it requires internet. Yes, that's true. But here's the thing: I have the game. The game has the key in it and everything. I'm able to count that as a physical. Should be a physical sale because that's what it was. So yeah, one day I'll have to come back and play that game. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, it does like seeing like DLCs. Obviously DLCs are digital. They don't really have a physical code or key or anything like that anymore. So apparently that's counting to digital, which I think that sucks. If that's the case, if they want to fight fire with fire, then they can just say, hey, every time when a physical game gets sold secondhand, then that should count as a physical sale, right? It should, but they're not going to do that. Anyway, yeah, it's just insane to see. Let's see here. All right, so another big one that I saw here with PlayStation, and it just gets worse and worse, is that PlayStation now is pissing off a lot of people, especially like physical game holders as well. That people's times are actually getting removed. It's insane to see. Whoops. But yeah, people's times are actually getting removed here. So they said time played, but then they actually have platinum. They got all the trophies and things like that. So it is insane. So if they do not fix that, then I have no idea. I'd say the best bet for all PlayStation players: make YouTube accounts. Make Twitch accounts. I would say just make YouTube accounts and do your grinds playing these games, getting all the trophies and things like that, and have like a huge record of it. One, you get your time, you have your time also in, and then also you got all your trophies. On top of that, you got people that are probably watching and could be used as a guide or a playthrough. On top of that, you're building your channel, and with that, who knows, you could be making a good career, you could be making some money off of it, things like that, if you want to. You don't have to. So but yeah, that is insane to see. Like, this is just happening where people's things are just getting removed, saying like, hey, there's no proof that, hey, you actually did anything, because who knows, they could probably take people's trophies away, which I hope they don't do. That would be terrible. It just goes further and more. Even former the Sony Interactive Entertainment president and CEO Sean Layden, he even talked about Sony's decision ending the physical disc. He said, unlike Xbox, PlayStation had a wider global fan base, and not just in the numbers, but in the reach. Because Sony Corporation had reach all over the world, The idea is that they could still buy a PS4 game, throw it in the machine, and play it, and play what's important. You don't want to leave those people behind. I don't know what went on in those conversations, but it's a fairly dramatic decision. And this is always the thing for me when it comes to the game industry, just and like tech and stuff like that, but mainly in the game industry, is I always say I want to be in those meetings. Like, and this is like everything when it comes to like creating a game and finding out the budget for it. How did they, get the budget? How did they ask, these investors with the shareholders, requesting a budget and stuff? I always wonder that. I do, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to see that because, shoot, getting in the game industry is pretty hard right now. Actually, damn near impossible. But yeah, even the CEO here, former CEO and president, was saying like, hey, that's a bad idea. Not many people. Some people just don't want to have internet and play online. Some people just want to have the game and play the game as is, But if everything is going to require internet access, then I mean, especially with what they're doing with like doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down on live service, it is very, very, very. I think it's a terrible idea, and you're going to alienate a very strong percentage of your player base that way. So going further. It doesn't stop. I don't think it ever will stop because now there's lawsuits that are happening. I covered there's one lawsuit a while ago about PlayStation and a lawsuit that happened. Oh yeah, it was with the UK, and now there's one with the United States and with the Netherlands. So they're dealing with millions of dollars, billions of dollars with the lawsuits, especially when it comes to the the PlayStation Store. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's one with the one with like the 500 movies and TV shows that are removed. I would not be surprised with that one. So if they get hit with that, they get hit with that. But yeah, everybody's said for the United Kingdom, an ongoing $2.7 billion in class action claims. Sony abused this dominant position by making the Sony PlayStation Store, making the PlayStation Store the only place you can buy digital PlayStation games and add-ons. They said that United States, Sony recently agreed to a $7.85 million settlement in class actions over its 2019 decision to stop retailers from selling digital PlayStation game download codes. So it's kind of like if you went to GameStop and they had like the little rack or whatever, the little rotating rack, and you pull a little card off on there, and on the back there would be like a code. Usually it was a scratch off, but I guess they got rid of those, which were fun. But what you do is you pay and you get like a code. And what happens is, you go home, scratch it off, and you just, enter that code in through your console, through your Xbox or your PlayStation, and be able to, download, play the game right there and then. Yeah, that's not a thing anymore. There's a whole lawsuit about that. People just don't want to buy the games like on the store. I understand. It's kind of like they want to push people to, purchase stuff on store. I mean, yeah, it is a product and a feature that is very, 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 very like useful, that very useful for obtaining games and things, because a lot of people don't want to go outside. A lot of people don't want to go, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's more convenient. Let me put it that way. It's more convenient for people to just, hey, let me just go on my PlayStation or go on my Xbox. Let me buy this game, and then buy this game. Congratulations, the game is yours. Install it. Boom, you're done. Other people, they just want to have the physical games, like I do. I don't care. I'll go out to a mom and pop shop. I'll go out to Best Buy or anything like that to go, buy a game, especially if I really like it. Go buy the game, and then, I'll come back and then pop it in the drive, download it, be good. But yeah, that's just me. Anyway, lawsuits. Backlash has got even worse. It got worse and worse and worse because it got to the point where GTA, Rockstar's GTA 6. Remember, we were talking about GTA 6. There's the issue with theirs where they were talking about, hey, we are not having any, we're not gonna have physical games, quote unquote physical, not gonna have the disc. The physical copy is a box with a code inside. And to me personally, and again, it's just my own personal thing. I'm not telling anybody like what they should think or what they should do. But me personally, when it comes to like just getting a brand new game, opening up the game, I like to see the disc. I like to see the artwork. I like to see the books that they have in there, everything like that. Going back to Destiny, right? Like I like when I open the game right here. Oops, sorry. When I open the game right here, boom, disc right there. This is right here, and then we have also like the codes and things like that. I like having that. It's just nice to have for me. It's just nice little display, things like that. But me opening up a case and just seeing nothing in there, and it's just a code, it's just like, it's just like, all right, I just paid this much for a paperweight, and it sucks, you know, terrible type of thing. So what happened with obviously PlayStation and GTA? Sony has received a lot of backlash about it and everything, and it got to the point where Rockstar was like, hey, I don't want to deal with this. I understand that you guys are basically, you know, you guys did the we had like exclusive like release or reports, I guess you say, or exclusive trailers, things like that, for Grand Theft Auto and PlayStation. You know, that's why you see this icon right here. Well, they got tired of that, and they said, hey, because of this backlash and everything, we want you guys to, or we demand you guys take the GTA theme off of PlayStation. Take it off completely. So they went from the little palm tree, you know, the GTA background, the theme of it, to just the solid blue or gradient blue of PlayStation that they had before. And this is on the app. So if you were to download the application, I believe that it is now the solid blue. So, which is insane. Here that they said Sony killed physical disc for all PlayStation games starting January 2028. They said the backlash was instant. They said politicians calling for regulations, KFC, Domino's publicly roasting them. The internet turned on Sony overnight. Actually, I mean, again, it's just like slapping it in the face of gamers, and that's always the big thing. And I love it with when it comes to gamers, is that no matter what, like we all, like even if we have differences of, you know, we have MMOs, we have you know, shooters, racing like, you know, gamers and stuff like that, sports gamers, like no matter what, like we will all band together to fight a common enemy. We will. And that's one thing I love. It's like we had the whole thing with Gamergate with Sweet Baby Inc. and all these consultant firms thinking like, oh, this game's gonna sell well, and we're like, no, bullshit. Actually liked that we all band together and we're just like, dude, stop fucking with our games. Like, this is our way of escapism, and you guys are really trying to destroy every single thing like that we just enjoy. Like, just leave us alone. That's it. We just want to be left alone. It's like one of those where it's like, you know, like poking the bear. Like, that's what they're doing. They're just like poking the bear. We're the bear. They keep poking the bear, and they keep poking, but then they're not gonna like when we react, when we finally wake up and decide to do something about it. So Sony's dealing with it right now. They're dealing with some of it. Let's see here. So yeah, they said a week ago Sony had GTA 6 everywhere. They said the app icon changed, PS5 dashboard taken over, store completely redesigned. No PlayStation game has ever gotten that treatment, because again, it's the most anticipated game in what, 10 years. You know, this game is going to change like a lot of people when it comes to like content creation. This is going to blow up people's careers. It's going to traject their careers, things like that, especially if you are going to be playing the game. So let's put it that way. They said when Rockstar doesn't want to be associated with your decisions, you know it's bad. Yeah, it's very bad to see things like that. But yeah, it's just the backlash has just released everything. You know, I know you guys. I know a lot of you guys talked about. You know, a lot of stuff has been going on where they say, you know, digital isn't owning. You know, obtaining a license isn't owning the game. So then people are saying that piracy is not stealing. So comes to it that people, PS5 owners, are now becoming interested in jailbreaking their consoles, their PlayStation. Remember that when we had the whole DRM issue where people were jailbreaking their, I think it was their PS4s or PS5s, I believe. One of those consoles. They were jailbreaking it, getting access to the game, downloading, extracting the game file onto like a USB or something like that, right? Or onto a disc, and they would have the license, and then the rest of the file they would actually be able to leave like on the disc or on that digital media, I guess you say, and they would be able to resell it back or get a refund and get their money back, but they still had the game. So they had a whole DRM issue about that and combating against it. Now people are just like, dude, screw it. I don't care about the whole DRM issues. Now it's just like, boom, I want this. Like now people are doing this whole thing, and they just want to make sure that they keep their games. One While the owners are becoming interested in jailbreaking their consoles after Sony announced that they would stop releasing new PlayStation games on physical disc. Jailbroken PS5 can run homebrew apps, emulators, and other unofficial software. Players see it as a way to preserve games and keep older titles working in the future if Sony decides to start removing games one day. Yeah, and I think what people are probably gonna do when they jailbreak the stuff, they'll probably find a way to burn it onto a CD or something like that, or just have like a big old thick hard drive or something like that, or I don't know, like an M.2 drive or something like that, because you can put those in a PS5. People are probably gonna be able to do that and keep their games and stuff. I don't know, maybe. So it's just one of those things. Yeah. Corporations pay monthly forever and own nothing. Me being a pirate, so I'll own whatever I can take. Yeah. So people are really into trying to into piracies, and I would usually say piracy is bad. It's like usually when we see like those early 2000 movies where it's like they have this theme songs like dun, 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 and it's like, would you steal a car? And it's like, would you steal somebody's wallet? And it's like downloading movies is stealing, and it's like the whole piracy thing. Or we had the little FBI, the whole what do you call it, the FBI banner, whatever. It's like you'd be up to a $250,000 fine if you pirated this movie and things like that. Things of that nature. People just don't give a shit no more because people's ownership is getting removed. Digital is being removed, physical is going away, so that's getting removed as well. So it's getting to the point where nobody has control over anything, especially when it comes to like movies. Video games, I believe they have it too, but I know for movies and TV shows it's really bad, because with movies and TV shows there are things that are slightly changing now, that are in movies and TV shows. Like there's one with like Lilo and Stitch where instead of being inside of a washing machine, or instead of being inside of like an oven, it's a washing machine, or a cabinet or something like that. There's that, and people are like, oh, what's the big deal? Well, it's media that you purchase that is no longer the original media, if that makes sense. You didn't pay for that. You didn't pay for the changes. For video games, I get pissed off too, still to this day, about Destiny 2. I bought Destiny 2, and guess what they did? I bought it for, Forsaken, and was it Forsaken? No, Curse of Osiris and the Red War, the original campaign. And what happened years later, they decided to vault it, sunset it, and remove it completely because they wanted to add more campaigns with a newer code that wasn't compatible to the old one. So they completely vaulted it and sunsetted it. So that was a problem there when it came to Destiny 2. And I feel bad for people that are brand new Destiny players because they do not get to experience the Red War. So with Callus and everything, like they don't get to actually experience that campaign and everything, where you actually lose your light a little bit. Sorry, a little spoiler, but lose your light a little bit and you earn that your light back. Yeah, you don't get to experience that anymore because it's completely gone. And a lot of people, including myself, are pissed because we paid money for that. And basically, our money that we paid, like $70 for it, it's completely gone. Like we should get our money back for that. They should say, hey, we apologize for what happened. We should give you either $70 or we should give you the next DLC completely free. Here's a code for the DLC. They should do that. But do they do that? No. They said, fuck off, and you already paid it, you're already playing it, screw off. Boom. Type of thing. So anyway. Sorry, going back into the physical media. Sorry. Consoles. They said that the war against the physical formats has just released a piracy crisis on Sony. According to Polygon, the homebrew scene and PlayStation 5 jailbreak are exploding as a direct response to the decision to kill disc games. So basically, they said, hey, if we are not getting physical games anymore, I'm going to jailbreak my shit, and I'm going to keep all my games digitally, one way or another. So pretty much that's what's going on here. The wave of PS5 unlocks isn't driven solely by traditional piracy, but they need to back up physical game libraries before Sony turns off the tap in 2028. So yeah, people are probably gonna spend a few $100 getting those solid state drives, things like that, and putting those games on their consoles. Now the thing is, when it comes to this, I don't know. I've never done anything like piracy or anything like that. But I would believe if that would happen, you would want to make sure your console is offline, because if you were to somehow put your console offline, they said, hey, this game is actually completely off, like we don't sell that game anymore or whatever, and people were playing this somehow, decide to together, they could probably brick your system, and you don't want that to happen. So Just saying, I understand people doing it out of anger and things like that, and just reaction, emotion, anger, and stuff. But you need to be smart about what you do. I'm just gonna be completely honest. All right, so they said the emulator boom. Users are forcibly opening the console's ecosystem to install emulators and ensure background compatibility that the company refuses to offer natively. That's also another thing I always talked about, that I've always wanted to talk about that I talked about and still continue to talk about. Like, I think every single console should always have like some sort of backwards compatibility, either for the previous generation, or I would say for the previous 2 generations, if that makes sense. So if it's a PS5, get PS4 and PS3. Xbox Series X would be the Xbox One, which is true. The Xbox One and the Xbox 360. Like, that's what it should be. Things like that. Because if you're really trying to have people go away from the PS3, go away from PS4, the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, things of that nature, it should just be backwards compatible completely. There shouldn't be like a list that you have to look up to see like if that game is actually backwards compatible and be able to play it. That's why I have my original Xbox. That's why I have my Xbox 360. I have my Xbox One out in my living room. Then I have my Xbox Series X right here, because just in case anything were to happen, I can always go back and play the game. And also it's kind of fun. Streisand effect. They said by trying to force 100% digital monopoly, Sony has radicalized a portion of its user base, pushing them to breach the security of the flagship hardware. They're probably gonna say mainly it's the physical disc holders. That's what people are probably gonna say, or the people that are digital and they're like, oh hell no, I don't want my stuff to be gone. Because just think, if you're a person that bought 700 games over the years, and somehow they're like, hey, we're ending it completely. That's your 700 games that are completely gone. Or if your account has been hacked and your account has been falsely terminated, probably. That's also another possibility, that all the games that you purchase digitally online on that storefront is completely gone because your key is associated with the your license or things like that was associated with that account, and you don't have that account anymore. So some people also said it with PCs, like, well, PCs, I got PCs, like PC, if they did the same thing. I'm not sure if it's a VAC ban or if it's just complete account terminations. I know for sure account terminations, but I'm not sure if VAC bans do the same thing. But if your account is completely gone, yes, you're done. You're done. I think it would just be only terminations. Yeah. Okay, so the attempt to absolutely control the market and eliminate physical discs has provoked exactly the opposite. Video game preservation has gone from being a debate in forums to becoming hacker activism. So, people are just like, dude, just give us the game. That's it. Just let us have our game. But people want to be, very stubborn with it. So, going further, Kojima, he even talked about it at some point. So he said, Hideo Kojima comments on the end of physical game production today in Italy. Actually, this was 4th of July. Interesting. They said today you can still download data, but at one point games will make into streaming services like Amazon and Netflix, and companies will decide if you can play a game or not. At this point, I won't have anything of my own. The data will be somewhere in a company, and I will have the right to access it or not, depending on how much this data tap is opened. They said the fact that the initial data is not in my possession, but is somewhere held by a private company, means that I will always have that risk that for any reason, whether commercial or political, the company could prevent access to that data, and therefore I will no longer be able to see that film. I will no longer be able to play that game. That is what's happening next for the world of video games, and I fear it will also happen for cinema. Cinema is already happening. It's doing it with Netflix. It's doing it with Amazon Prime, things like that. Even on TV shows. I saw it on TV shows where it's like, Rush Hour and stuff. Just for an example, like a somewhat of alteration example, is that like with Rush Hour, they say, hey, this movie was made in the 90s, so there are some humor that would offend people, things like that. And I'm just like, it's a movie. It's a movie made in the 90s. It was made in the 90s because it obviously says it's in the 90s. But the fact that you got to put that in there, it's insane. It's insane to me. But when it comes to video games and stuff, we're dealing with that. Game Pass and and the Sony PlayStation Plus, we have that as well. Like those are subscription based already, and they say, hey, once everything goes to goes to digital, where you like need a you need Xbox Game Pass, you need PlayStation Plus in order just to buy a game and play the game. Yeah, I think that's where it's honestly I think that's where it's the end for me. That's where consoles end for me, and that's where I will just stick to my computer. Unless Steam somehow goes down that route in some way, in some sort of fashion, they go down that route as well. Then pretty much, I got my old consoles that I can play and have a good time and things like that. But yeah, that's why you see him here. He's like, there's like some books, there's some DVDs. I believe there's some games in here, maybe, but it looks like there's just movies. I think these are just movies. But yeah, all these actually movies or books, things like that. So yeah, that's just one of those things. It's pretty insane to see. I wish that what do you call it? I just wish that physical games just didn't go away. Anyway, big thing right here too as well is that sorry, with the flashbang here, let me go ahead and put this into dark mode kind of thing. Anyway, this is from Push Square. PS5 disc drives limited to 1 per order. Sony acknowledges high demand. So this is weird, right? So you have in January 2028, they're going to get rid of physical discs, but they're saying like, hey, we're going to go ahead and put the disc drive, like we're still going to sell those, and it's going to be limited to 1 person. Now people are going to say that it's most likely to piracy or not piracy, but just scalpers. A lot of people are just going to try to buy them up and try to sell them for a high price. It has always been a thing. Let's see what they said here. They said that the update of Friday the 3rd, July 2026, it says it turns out that the limit on PS5 disc drives orders may have been in place prior to the week's announcement. Let's see here. Sorry, just make sure that's up there. So perhaps not related to the sudden influx of scalping. They said disclaimer about Sony's ceasing to manufacture physical games in January 2028. 2028 is of course very much new. Original story. Honestly, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Sony is limiting sales of PS5 optional disc drives, especially to 1 per person on its PS Direct store, citing high demand. Let's see here. With the platform holders' decision to cease manufacturing game discs in January 2028, it's possible scalpers may have sensed an opportunity here. If that's the case, I suppose it's good to see the company react quickly, which is good. I do like that. But it's hard to ignore the irony of the week in a week where it's effectively signaled the death of physical games. And the thing is, it's like, okay, cool. Like they're gonna take a little bit off of the whole disc drive because of the scalpers and things like that. But the downside is, if there wasn't that announcement of physical games going away, like this statement right here, if that wasn't a problem, then we wouldn't have to deal with the whole one disc drive or scalpers and things like that. We wouldn't have to deal with that issue. So let's see. The product itself is now includes a notice on this topic. Let's see. Sony's optional disc drive add-on is compatible with both PS5 Slim and PS5 Pro consoles, and also works as an extension to allow you to play physical games. Yeah. So, and I know a lot of things, like a lot of people are getting PS5 Pro, and then they're getting this drive because certain software on there or something like that. It's like a fidelity thing. I can't remember, but it's very insane. All right. Lastly, this is from Does It Play. I saw this and I was like, whoa, holy crap. So they said that Sony is desperately trying to sweep things under the rug, make sure that they run out of brooms, keep the pressure up, fight for physical games and ownerships. So what is going on here is basically moderators of the PlayStation subreddit are deleting people's posts that are talking about the 2023 Insomniac game leak. So the one that I was talking about, where'd it go? I think it's this one. Nope, not that one. It was about this one. Yeah, this one right here. This is the 2023 Insomniac leaks, the one right here that I said, remember that. This right here, people are talking about this in the subreddit, and moderators from PlayStation r/PlayStation or whatever it is, are deciding to delete it. It is crazy. It is insane here. So, they're trying to do a little CIA stuff. I guess you would say some secret spy stuff, some villain crap. I know that for sure. So, that's pretty much it. I think that is what's caught up with PlayStation. So this is going to be a very interesting video that I'm going to have to edit because I never done something like this. Usually I was rambling and I usually do cuts and stuff like that, but I don't think it's going to be as many cuts. So, anywho, sorry for rambling you guys' ear off for almost 40 minutes. Yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about PlayStation and the situation that's going on. It's gonna get worse, it's gonna get better. Also, yeah, stay tuned for the next video where we're gonna be talking about Xbox and their layoffs. Supposedly their layoffs that they had. The news just broke out today, so I'll do a recording right after this. I don't know, sure when the video is gonna come out. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Soft Juno. Peace.